Many of you have heard the very exciting news that Grace United Church has been selected to participate in the Relevance to Resonance project. We're pretty stoked because this is quite an honor, but more importantly, this is an amazing opportunity for Grace as we do the work of discerning how God is calling us forward out of COVID and into the future.
The Relevance to Resonance project is a $1.5 million grant from Lilly Endowment, Inc., aimed at exploring how church leaders can reshape and deepen congregational life in a secular age, an understanding of society where people seek the good, but without God.
This project revolves around cultivating resonance. Resonance meaning the awareness of being alive, awareness of interconnection between oneself and the world, of encounters with something beyond oneself.
This is an exciting adventure that we get to share, Pat and I, but all of us as a congregation. This project has 4 unofficial goals: to help identify and understand the conditions of our current secular age, to examine how these conditions affect our congregational life, to imagine what congregational life can look like and what sort of leadership will bring us to thrive, and to assist the deliberate shaping of life at Grace towards resonance and transcendence.
The project is a 3-year commitment for Kenji and me. So in year 1, we will spend time reviewing the literature, and we get to meet twice with cohort groups made up of 22 other practitioners and theologians from right across North America to reflect on the loss of transcendence in our day.
In year 2, Grace will receive a $10,000 grant to underwrite a resonance project of our own as Grace United Church, applying what we've studied, discussed, and discerned to experiment with new practices that help us as a church recognize and respond to experiences of transcendence in our lives.
And in the 3rd year of the project, Kenji and I continue to collaborate with our cohort groups to share the outcomes of our resonance experiment here at Grace, and to create articles and resources for use around the globe to help other congregations and ministers toward shared experiences of resonance.
At this point, we want to briefly introduce you to 3 key authors, Root, Taylor, and Rosa. Their works form the theoretical base for this project, and Pat and I will be hosting book clubs and discussion groups to dig into their works.
So the key author driving this exploration is Andrew Root and his 3-volume series, Ministry in a Secular Age, with the congregation in a secular age being the main source. We'll also draw on Andy's next release that comes out around March, entitled Churches and the Crisis of Decline.
Root draws heavily from Canadian sociologist Charles Taylor and his opus, A Secular Age. Taylor asks the confounding question, how is it that 500 years ago it was virtually impossible not to believe in God, but today it is practically impossible to believe in God? He takes 800 meandering pages to answer that question. If you prefer the abbreviated version, only 120 pages, The Malaise of Modernity will give you the highlights, which is also available as CBC's Massey Lectures from 1991.
And Root also draws heavily on German sociologist Hartmut Rosa from his book Resonance. Again, resonance is the notion that the world around us is very much alive and engaging us, inviting us to experience something bigger than and beyond ourselves.
If you are the TED Talk or YouTube type, simply search these authors and titles and you can plug into their online lectures. Links to these resources and more are available on the Grace website at graceucsarnia.com.
This is exciting. This is really exciting. We believe that this reflective, critical, and theological work will help us forward in our individual lives and in the life and work of this congregation.
We look forward to this shared journey as we learn to speak of, seek out, and live from a deep grounding in resonance.